Well, I'm joined here this morning by Daniel Milstein. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on today.
Well, thanks for having me on your show.
So I know you have a pretty remarkable story. So we're talking a little bit about your background. So can you tell us what motivated your family to flee from the Ukraine?
Well, at the age of 10, back in 1986, I lived only 78 miles away from Chernobyl. So I've experienced the hardship after the Chernobyl accident, and along with political and religious issues, my family and I decided to move to the United States. And so I came to the United States at the age of 16 in 1991.
That's great. And so how old were you when you guys came to America, and how hard was it to adjust to the culture?
Well, in 1991, I was 16 years old. I didn't speak English. We were only allowed to bring one suitcase per person, and a friend of mine gave me 17 cents that I hid in my sock to bring to the United States to mail the letter back home. Obviously, 17 cents was not enough, so it took me about 4 more months to save up the difference to send the letter back home.
And you're successful now, but how hard was it for you and your family to adjust when you guys first moved here?
Well, didn't speak English, went through food stamps, projects, welfare. I was fortunate shortly after coming to the United States to get a job at McDonald's. And I say fortunate, to many people working at McDonald's is a distraction, but to me it was a lifeline. And so I worked from 5 o'clock in the morning until 7:45, then I rushed to high school and then came back and finished my shift.
And so what was your motivation?
I just wanted to work hard, and I wanted to get somewhere in life.
And so can you tell me about the company you own, the Gold Star Mortgage Financial, and your humble beginnings in that?
Well, I've been in banking for going on 20 years, and so in late 1999, I decided to start my own mortgage company. And so I did. I rented a space that was used as a closet by its previous tenant. And so it was just me, myself, and I started building the company one guy at a time. Currently, Gold Star Mortgage is a Michigan-based lender. We lend across the country. I have well over 30 offices and well over 300 employees across the United States serving customers for mortgage needs.
That's exciting. You did all this by yourself.
Thank you. That's
very awesome. And so what advice would you give for entrepreneurs?
Well, number one is never give up. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody else would do it. And so number one is don't ever give up, and work as hard as you can. And good things happen to good people.
And so you're not only an entrepreneur, but you're also a shark investor. Is that correct?
In addition of running Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group, I'm also part of quite a few other investment groups, and we support quite a few corporations and smaller companies, small businesses across the country. In addition to that, I'm very much involved with athletes, primarily hockey players, and obviously I've published 3 books. 2 of them are bestsellers to this point in time.
And I see you brought those books with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me a little bit about these 3 books that you have published?
Well, the first book called The ABC of Sales. And so this book, ABC stands for Always Be Closing. And so this is the first book after I made the number one loan officer in the United States out of 550,000 people. On my bucket list was to write a story, so I did it. And then 17 Cents and a Dream is a personal life story coming to the United States. And then followed by the Street Smart Selling, basically a guide for anyone who would like to get to the pinnacle of their career and stay there.
It sounds like you have a lot of good advice for entrepreneurs. And for those seeking employment and through tough financial times, as an employer, what advice do you give to those looking for work?
Well, number one is you need to prepare yourself for an interview. One of the things that I personally like to ask people is, what is your 3, 5, and a 10-year plan? Everybody must have a plan. And so based on, so I'm always curious to know what the potential applicants have and what kind of plans they have. Because bottom line, I'm not looking to get to bring them on board and keep them in entry-level positions. We want to grow with them and watch them excel at their careers as well.
So you want them to advance. So you think plan is one of the most important steps, I guess, to begin a business or as an entrepreneur. Is that correct?
You have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail.
Yep. All right. Well, Daniel, thanks so much for coming on today. And as a business person who started by yourself, which was amazing, and look how far you come today. So thanks for coming on today and telling us your story and giving some advice to those entrepreneurs out there who are looking to start a business.
Ashley, thank you for having me.
Thank you.